Hello there, right here we have a brand new snapshot for the 1.17 Caves and Cliffs update. This is version 21W14A, and it comes with the option to fortune more ores and other features. And make sure to hit the subscribe button, as I can see everybody who has subscribed or hasn't yet in the comments section. And if you hit the bell, you won't miss out when new discoveries are made in Minecraft. The first new thing they added is they gave drops to the remaining types of ores in the game that don't give you a drop when you fortune them. So let's use a fortune pickaxe. So these are like the gold. Before you would mine up gold, you'd always just get this block of ore. Now, when you mine it up, you can see we get a raw gold. It looks really cool. So another one of these blocks is iron. So let's go ahead and use fortune on it. And you can see that we got raw iron. And the last block that has this property is the new copper block. Mine it up, and we get copper, which is called raw copper. Now, if we would do this to the other ores, like you get the coal item from this one, the gold nuggets, the lapis item, the diamond item, the redstone, the emerald item, and the quartz item. So you can see they're trying to kind of complete the system so that when you fortune them, you get items from all of them and not blocks from some and items from others. And then these raw materials can go into a furnace, and you can cook them down into the ingots that we're used to having. So one raw material produces one ingot. And this works for the other ones. Raw iron turns into iron ingot, and then raw copper turns into the copper ingot. Now you can still put in the blocks. You can silk touch them and then put the blocks in and then smelt those down. So this doesn't remove any features from the game. You just can't obtain these as block items anymore unless you actually have the silk touch pickaxe. So with this pickaxe, I can mine up the blocks and they will always drop the blocks. And most people turn around, take those blocks and smelt them. If you're someone that likes to collect the block, you just have to remember to use silk touch in order to get them now, like all the other ores in the game. So for block queries, this is going to change things up. So if we would use a block query to blow these blocks up, we'll no longer get blocks, but instead we'll get the items. But either way, they will have to be smelted down. Now, they said they added this change so that it would prevent the cluttering of the inventory when mining. And they would also have the consistency with the other fortuned ores. So now that these ores can be fortuned, you can get more out than you normally would if you just smelt them down. Let's go ahead and break some gold. So we got one there. That time we got 3. Got 1 again, and we got 1 again. Let's try the iron. 1, 3, 4, and 1. Let's try some copper. 1, 2, 2, 2. And Tiz Awesomeness looked into the Minecraft code, and all the new ores will produce between 1 and 4 with fortune 3. And on average, you get 2.2. You can see you're going to end up getting more ingots per ore block by using fortune now. So this isn't really going to affect your old worlds and any ore that you've already obtained. Now, before, you could find these pockets of tough block down here at the bottom of Y level 0, but now they've also introduced these between Y level 0 and 16. So this is a key area where people normally try to mine to get a lot of different resources. So last time they added in deep slate being able to form in blobs in this area. You can see some right here. But now we can also find the tough block above Y level 0, so from 0 to 16. And here's a piece of it. So these blobs seem to be a bit more rare than the deep slate blobs that are up in this area. But the stuff can be mined through at the same speed as stone, so it's more of just a nuisance and filling your inventory up with more variety of blocks when you're mining through this area. But mining from like Y level 0 to 4, still the best area to get the majority of variety of ores. Another new thing they added is that you can wax the fully oxidized copper. So if I right click it with some honeycomb, you can see it turns into waxed oxidized copper. Now in the past they added this for these 3 blocks, but they didn't add the oxidized variation. And that was because in the past there was no way to revert this back to the cleaner variations. So once it got this far, you didn't have to worry about it changing. But that changed with the previous snapshot, where now if lightning will hit any of the copper blocks, it will clean them off a bit. So you can see now it reverted. So to prevent people from making builds that had this stuff inside of them from changing, they have an option of waxing it. If you've seen my previous videos, you know that I made a device that can wax, de-wax them, oxidize them, and deoxidize them. And if you keep up with my streams, you'll see that I have a really cool machine that I'll come out with a video about that does this all. And remember to join my Twitch stream after watching this video, as I do stream Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We'll be playing around with all these new features. Now, besides adding in these new features, they also fixed some previous bugs. They fixed the problem with the fishing rod not showing that as being reeled out or reeled in. There's a problem that command blocks outputs were not being displayed immediately after running the command. They solved the issue when you tried to generate a world with a height of only 0 blocks, it would cause a crash. There's also another crash occurring when placing in world features or decorations. They also fixed this problem with the end dimension using kind of the overall generation in making these massive islands. Look how big this island was. So if you want a challenge, you can play in the last snapshot. There will definitely be a challenge killing the Ender Dragon, but now it has been restored back to the old way. There was a problem that the pillagers that spawn around a pillager outpost were spawning way too far away from it, and they were also spawning underneath the ground, and they resolved this. They also fixed the problem that ocean monuments were completely empty, and it does look pretty crazy when there's nothing inside of here. You can kind of see how big it actually is. Don't forget to leave a like on the video as well as share it with others so they can appreciate all the cool stuff coming in 1.17. And as always, right after this video goes live, we will be doing a live stream with the viewers playing in this newest version and seeing what cool things we can make out of these changes. Hope you guys enjoyed this snapshot review, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye!